Hi everyone. Welcome back to Tuesday. It is May 5th. I hope you all have had a great week. It is actually quite warm here in California and the pollen is blowing everywhere, which has been hello, really nice for my nose and my eyes. um, oh, here comes Kelly right now. Yay! I had a very productive weekend getting rid of stuff and cleaning out my garage. And so, hi!
How's it going?
It is good. I cleaned out, I was just saying, I cleared out my whole garage and like shop vac
Wow.
everything and did a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So the dust has been a flying.
No doubt. Okay.
Right? Right. How are you?
I'm good. My husband is a May 2nd baby, so he turned 50, and that was
Oh,
my weekend. I got
happy.
a little interruption in the creative flow, but I'm back.
That's all right. That helps with the creativity, right? We've got
Yeah, it was a great weekend. It
I
was
can't.
beautiful.
Uh, I was just thinking, like, oh my gosh, it's like May 5th, right? Cinco de Mayo, right? And
That's why we date Mexican. We had a whole Mexican theme
totally, my friend's
because it's so
birthday,
close.
she's in Arizona, and her birthday was Friday, and they had like a little fiesta, right? And
Uh-huh.
this weekend's Mother's Day.
Yeah, and I was trying to get some days off, and that's not going to work. So
Oh, no, it's not. No,
it's
it
all
is
good
not.
anyway.
No.
I'm excited. It's all good.
Yeah.
But I did have some ideas today because this is a pretty potent week that's going to lead
Mhm.
to yet another potent week. This week it is. Oh my goodness! Can you hear that noise?
I
There
cannot.
we go. Oh my goodness.
Was it in your headset? Oh no.
No, I had music going to the side here. I
Oh,
apologize if that's on the
no.
recording. Sorry, guys. Um, I got so excited to be here and be with people again.
I know.
So I'm really glad for everybody that's here and joining us later on and watching the replays. People are liking the replays, so that's good.
Yeah.
This week is Beltane was technically yesterday on the 4th.
Yeah.
So it's our celebration of life time of year. For those of you who maybe are new to the circle or haven't heard me talk about this before, I do follow the seasons, and I'm working on a book that I want to self-publish this year about my kind of take on it. But we're at one of those high holy days of the 8 sacred seasons that I'm always yapping on about.
Yep.
So winter, spring, summer, fall are, like I said, the active times, and then we have these midpoints in between those seasons. So this week is the midpoint between spring equinox seeds that we planted and things that we're still planting at this time, between that and summer solstice, which is basically new life and when things really start to blossom and come forth and show us what we're doing with our year. Now, we know this year is pretty special and we have to, let's say, measure our progress a different way than usual, probably.
Yeah.
But this is the week to tune into that beauty and vitality and life. You know, the whole life, death, life cycle is what Taurus Scorpio is all about.
So can
It's
I'm going to just
mhm.
go out there for people who may not know what Beltane is. Do you want to share what that is?
Well, so
Yeah.
that's one of the Celtic high holy days,
Mm-hmm.
and we get together. Like I said, that's the sweet spot, and
Mm-hmm.
it is about celebrating life and tapping into. I was wearing red. I couldn't find anything green, but usually I say wear something green for the green
Yeah.
heart chakra. And it's just about your gratitude, counting your blessings, seeing where you're at right now for springtime, what's getting going, what's not really taking off the way you thought it would, and again, through an extra filter, of course, it's different. And how do you spell it? Oh,
Oh, go ahead. Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No.
You go. You go.
Beltane. B as in boy, E-L, Beltane, Tane. And there's probably more Irish spellings too, because they
Yeah,
spell everything a couple of different ways.
I think they'll add an I in sometimes,
Yes.
and depending, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It is across all cultures. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just the Celtic. It's all cultures have a form of celebrating this time of year. And it is all about the life and vitality. We're supposed to be very sexual and tapped
Mm-hmm.
into our pleasures, and being in the body is a big deal. So you'll always hear me talk about Taurus being the body, the garden, the physical experience of our lives, and what we just love and cherish and think is beautiful and is attracted to and magnetized by. And Scorpio is the power and conception, and it's the breath of God that breathes life into the garden, you know. So we don't necessarily have the power, but we clear ourselves and open ourselves in ways to be channels for the power to move through, and that's allowing life. And at this time, I just thought it was really important that we touch base on the life piece, because so many people are down and struggling and going through really, let's say, new evolutionary processes that they might not have been expecting to be going through. And it's bringing out all kinds of things, you know. So if we can be mindful for ourselves, that, you know, for those of us that are doing a little better than the average bear, then, you know, sort of send those good vibes out for everyone else, because this is the life and death month where we talk about that. So again, with the time of year and the midpoint, now I talk about this a lot, and I want to repeat it so that you all really learn the rhythm, you know, winter, spring, summer, fall, action, choices, movement. After that, now we're at this midpoint in fixed signs of Taurus, Scorpio, or in the winter, it'll be Leo, Aquarius. So it's a time when we want to anchor things and make some commitments in different ways. And very often it is to our bodies and to our physicality or our physical space in some kind of way. And this is a renewal, rebirth kind of thing. The challenge this week with the Scorpio full moon is to let go of anything that really is not serving you. It doesn't have anything to do with here and now, or this life, or this garden that you're tending to right now. And so we have a lot of so much support from so many different angles, right, that are telling us to renew our values and priorities. Certainly Venus going backwards next week is a big deal. So I will reiterate here, because I did get a few registrations that came through this morning after my mailing went out, that it's not too late to ask me for the 2-part introduction, because the cycle's just getting underway. So minimum the next 3 months, anybody can reach out and get this 2-part thing. And it's 2 audios and a bunch of PDFs and extra goodies, but it helps you navigate the next 18 months, or at least set the intention for the first 9, and knowing there's going to be another 9 months. So with the Venus cycle, we do the first 9 months of release work, which is going to be in Gemini. So we're releasing this trickster aspect, shadow trickster, not the good trickster, but the bad trickster that gets us in trouble all the time. We're letting go of that part of Gemini. And then the 9 months of reclamation will be ruled by Aries. So we're going to be activating our inner pioneer, because we will be in new territory on the other side of this. And there's going to be, excuse me, no matter how you slice it, you have to start a new life on the other side of this. So let's tap into what that is, because this is the imagination, this is the cultivation, this is the fertilizer that goes into your planting and into the roots. And so that's what I thought we could make our divinations about today. The other thing is, I have a book that I really good for beginners, called A Goddess is a Girl's Best Friend, by Lori Sue Brockaway. And what she's done is she's taken about, I don't know, 15 or 20 goddesses, and it's goddesses for the self, goddesses of strength, goddesses of love and romance, goddesses of friendship and family life, goddesses of work and finance, and goddesses of play and lightheartedness. And then there's about 6 underneath each of them. And you get to choose what you would like to go do a spell with. And she has little spells in here, and how to keep that goddess close to you and that kind of thing. Now, I pulled it out because I want to move this year, even despite everybody saying nobody can move, nobody can do that, you know. I feel like I'm going to tap into a miracle. It's time to move. So I don't know what the rest of the world's doing, but I got to do this. So I couldn't find anything about, you know, really claiming that sacred space of a house or a home. But in order for me to move from Florida, which is a pretty much lower cost of living than big city living, where I'll probably be heading back to. So I thought, increase your income with Lakshmi, who I love, and I have a bunch of Lakshmi here. So, and so I wondered if anyone had a question about that. Like, what are you working on? What are you wanting to plant in your garden at this time that maybe we could call on a goddess and talk about how to do that, and what she's good for and all that. In the meantime, while you all are kind of meditating and marinating that one.
Well, no, since we are working on imagination and creativity, maybe we can tap into one of those, right? Or like one of those, the goddesses that works with that.
Oh, I do another one with her. Yes, there's a creativity one for sure. Find your inspiration with Brigitte. I do that all the time. She's Brigitte, the other Celtic goddess. Yeah. So that's a
So
good
please
one.
ask if you want one. If you have a like question or anything, I'm going to throw that out there for people who have just
Yeah, I mean, I can
used.
rattle them off because it's see how beautiful you truly are with Hathor. Discover your dark and wild side with Lilith. Welcome the winds of change with Oya, but you got to be careful because when you do what, this is not a game, y'all. This is really not a game. This is activating energies in your life and claiming it and then asking for help. And when help shows up, it just doesn't always look like what we would think it would look like. So we have to be open and receptive to how that shows up. So that's when I get real specific about what I'm looking for in terms of the house and the move. I want ease and grace. And with Lakshmi, we
Yeah.
can do that. Everybody wants to increase their income, right?
Yes.
So Lakshmi is wonderful. Well, Lakshmi is the goddess of beauty, and it's not just wealth. It's about being magnetic and attractive, so everything's abundant, and it's just naturally abundant. 213. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, see, I've already been on Brigitte here. She's the one who's marked, and Lakshmi is right after her. So increase your income. Let's see. So I love this. Lakshmi is a girl's best friend when it comes to money. We need all the help we can get in surrendering poverty consciousness, increasing income, and investing for the future, which is where I want you in your imagination right now, dreaming up what that is, because your values on the other side of this are going to be different too. A lot of people are going to have different jobs. You're going to have a different routine. You're going to have different obligations and things. So,
Some of us are seeing signs of that right now already.
oh,
Right
already,
now.
exactly.
So let's align to these energies.
Right. Well, and claim your vision. Don't be a
Right.
victim. Don't get dragged along by a current. I heard Les Brown say today something about agenda. If you don't have your own agenda, then an agenda will be assigned.
Right.
I promise you.
Yeah.
So we're going to surrender the poverty consciousness, increase our income, and invest in the future. But before you ask for that raise or try to elevate your position at work or even think about underselling your services just to make money, ask for Lakshmi's help. She grants and delivers good fortune in material and spiritual realms. She represents abundance, plenty, good fortune, and beauty. So she is the Hindu goddess of good fortune and beauty. She is actively worshipped around the globe, of course. Interfaith practitioners of goddess spirituality, and is considered the personification of abundance, prosperity, and wealth. It is said that 3 millennia ago, so 3,000 years ago, Lakshmi was born fully grown on a pink lotus that rose from the Milky Sea. She was immediately bedecked, bejeweled, and worshipped by the gods and sages. They prayed that she would come to their abodes and to their worlds because they believed that where Lakshmi is, you find riches and fulfillment. Deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
So
Bridgie Doodle just asked, what's the name of the book? She can wait till the
A
end.
Goddess is a Girl's Best Friend.
Yeah. A Goddess is a Girl's Best Friend.
Lori Sue Brockaway is the author. And so when we get to how to invite her into your life, Lakshmi will work with you to increase your income when she feels welcome. So that's why I said I have a whole little altar for her. But first, she asks you do your part to make your life and your financial situation a welcoming environment for her magical touch. So number 1 says clean up and organize your room. The first step to inviting Lakshmi is to clean up your home environment and remove excess clutter. Lakshmi is attracted to cleanliness. At Diwali, which is the Hindu festival of lights, which falls in October or November, women clean their houses the night before the new moon to help attract Lakshmi. On that high holy day, which is another one, they light oil lamps to invite her because it's believed that she is drawn to the sparkling cleanliness and the sparkling lights, which is funny because I have twinkle lights all around my room.
Yeah. I love that.
And it's easier for her to bring good things to life when our lives are organized and when we are making an attempt to be more organized. Organize your files and desk and put financial records in order. Even if you can't pay all your bills, know what you owe and put a system in place for being financially accountable. Number 2 says praise her and pray to her. So before Hindu people ask for Lakshmi's assistance, they evoke Ganesh, which I also have there together, the Lord of obstacles. Basically, he removes the blockages and obstacles so that we can have the abundant garden. and ask for his help removing barriers to the success Lakshmi can bring. You can do this by saying Om Ganesh, Om Ganesh, Om Ganesh. Then praise Lakshmi's powers and attributes and petition her for help, meaning write a little note, to Lakshmi. Also, you can build a Lakshmi bank. Of course, she is attracted to her own image, and that's what I have. I have like real money and money from different countries and
Yeah.
all that next to her. And she's attracted to her own image and honored when you place her picture or icon in your home. Get a small statue or postcard and build a small bank in honor of the goddess of fortune. It should be positioned somewhere you can see it every day, next to your computer, your dresser, or in a closet if you need to stash it out of sight. Now, what I've done is I've made the bagua, which is the feng shui map.
Yeah.
So I have her in the money corner. So you just want to, if you want to look, that's really easy to just Google. And Bagwa's B as in boy, A, G as in George, U, A. And what I did is I made one horizontal and one vertical so that I could do the room right. Because basically you have to line it up with your door, whatever entrance is to the room. And then you can lay out the room according to that. So it does work, y'all. It works when you work it. And to have a living plant there, like I've had bamboo over the years, and now I really need a new one. I've had a lot of transformation, and it's just time for new energy. Get a clear glass bowl, vase, or cup. This will be your Lakshmi bank, and as you fill it with coins, you will see your prosperity grow. So I have a red, orange, what looks like an old genie bottle, and it's holding those coins with her. Place Lakshmi's picture or icon alongside your bank. If you are not able to or don't feel comfortable or ready to use her picture, try to just view the bank as a vital essence of Lakshmi's prosperous energy and dedicate it to her. So intention is everything. Spells and working mojo, however you want to define your terms, still has everything to do with intention. Start your bank with 4 shiny new quarters to represent her 4 arms. Symbolically, the new coins will initiate financial flow. Taking the time to quiet yourself and feel relaxed, offer the coins to the goddess as if you are giving a divine gift. As you place them in the clear bowl, thank her for all the good fortune that she will now bring and for all areas of your financial life that she will empower and help you develop. Put at least 1 coin in any amount of money into the bank every day, whatever you can manage and whatever feels right. Just make sure you share your good fortune with the goddess daily. Spend a moment of sacred silence every time you drop a coin in and acknowledge the increasing finances. The sight of your money growing and the sense that you are growing it with your own hand and with the help of the goddess will instill you with greater confidence and inspiration. Carry out all your financial tasks in front of the bank shrine. As you add money to it, it is adding power to your financial life. So it becomes a sacred space in which to take care of all your money-related tasks. Write your checks, pay your bills, and go over your credit card bills in front of Lakshmi. If you don't yet have a checking account, fill out the forms for a new checking account in front of the bank shrine. When you are feeling brave, balance your checkbook. Get in the habit of evoking Lakshmi for all things financial. When the bank fills up, take the money out and count it. First, following the spiritual law of tithing, and put 10% aside for a worthy cause that you would like to support. Put the rest in a savings account and dedicate it as an offering to the goddess Lakshmi. And then they have little mini things, how to keep Lakshmi with you, keep things clean, wear gold or silver or precious jewelry, eat healthy foods that are symbolic. If you like yogurt, honey, and milk, eat, drink, and be merry in the name of Lakshmi, because these are the offerings made to her as part of worship. Every time you ingest one of these foods, imagine you are nurturing your very being with foods that sustain life, and that you are taking in the empowering energies of beauty and good fortune. And then experience a Lakshmi Puja, which is the Hindu people honor her with a service called puja. People of any faith can attend, whether it's at a Hindu temple or in a private home with a Hindu priest. Prayers are uttered repeatedly and devotional songs are sung. So Shanta's taught me this about kirtan. It's like chanting and singing and raising the vibration through your voice like that. And it's so much fun. And it
Okay.
really does move the energy. So it's not
Yeah.
a bad thing to do. So
And for
Lakshmi, yeah, let's all increase our income and report back. Let me know in a month if you've done it or how it went and
that's
if you
awesome. And
tried it, and I'll
maybe
let you know how I go.
maybe we can do like a little picture of that, or you could take a picture of that.
Yes.
So if someone
Yeah.
wants to see it, that might be
I
something.
will. I'll show a little altar and make a reminder maybe for our Instagram and post that.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that'd
yeah,
be really
that's what I
cool
can do.
because they would like that, right? And
Yeah.
let's do Bridget, right?
Bridget, oh,
Yeah.
yes, she's very good. She's my girl. I've got her permanently on the altar
Hmm.
because we always want to be inspired. But she's the fire goddess, so this
Hmm.
is the fire season of fire, which is really great. And of course, I took her out. Find your inspiration with Brigitte. So, Brigitte is a girl's best friend when it comes to creativity, self expression, and bringing new ideas into the world and giving them life, which is what we're calling in now. What are our new ideas for going forward? When at a loss for stimulation and motivation and tearing your hair out with anxiety, she lights the fire in your creative soul with her creative magic. She will freshen your ideas and bring her fiery spirit to your life. She represents the passionate flame of creativity and inspiration. And she is the Celtic triple goddess. So in the mythology, she's known as the keeper of the sacred fire. Her name means exalted one and is sometimes referred to as a bride. Goddess of poets, blacksmiths, brides, and childbirth. She watched over the hearth fire, fertility, creativity, and healing. As a triple goddess, she represents the three aspects of the divine feminine, the three stages of a woman's life, maiden, mother, and wise woman, all in one. When Christianity took hold, she survived the fall of the old religion and was adapted as a Catholic saint and got a slightly different spelling to her name. She was and continues to be the much-loved Saint Bridget of Kildare. She said to be the founder of the first female Christian community. Ha! I love it. So how to invite her into your life? She is a symbol of eternal light. So in the days when Celtic paganism was the main religion of Ireland, 19 priestesses tended the flame. They rotated one each day, and it is said that on the 20th day, the goddess herself tended the flame. This evolved into an early Christian tradition whereby nuns in the abbey she was founded were considered guardians of the fire of Saint Brigitte. After her death, it is said that the fire burned continuously and took a great deal of wood, but the ashes did not increase until the church outlawed the practice, of course. So this is that 20-day thing that we started early on in the year. We talked about that was what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was adding her to my 20-day mix and trying to change some habits, and I did it, and I ended up having to do 20 days in a row. But I like that for the 40 days right now,
Yeah.
and it's still something you can work with. For long-term projects, light her fire. Just by lighting a candle, you can evoke her energy and kickstart an endless flow of ideas, solutions, and creativity. If you commit yourself to a 20-day program of lighting a flame in honor of the goddess, which I've totally done too, you just get 20 tea lights and one main candle that you keep going that you can light it with. If you commit yourself to the 20-day program of lighting a flame in honor of the goddess, you ensure 20 days of focusing on creating something important, and you'll have a chance to quote-unquote work with her every day. You can go back to the very ancient roots of the tradition in everyday life in a number of ways. If you happen to have a fireplace or an outdoor fire pit, you can light any of these daily for 20 days in honor of the goddess. Candles are fine too. So pick an appointed time every day for 20 days to light the fire in her honor and try to keep a sacred schedule. If your timing is off, light the flame when you can, but do it daily. As you do, visualize the project you want her inspired blessings for and say it out loud if you can as you ask for help. You can ask in your own personal way for what you need or use this prayer. Brigitte of the Golden Flame and Fiery Inspiration, I welcome you. Please bring me the inspiration and motivation that I need to blank, fill it in. On this day, I pray that this sacred flame lead me to your light. Ashe. After your prayer ritual, snuff out the candle with a candle snuffer rather than blowing it out. Spiritually, blowing could mean blowing away the intention of it. Thank the goddess for being with you on that day and always. Over the course of a few days, you will feel the energy of inspiration begin to sizzle within. Seize it, ride its waves, and get your work done. Now, that's why I use tea lights, because I'm not snuffing anything out. I'm not blowing it out. I'm not snuffing it out. I want it to go out on its own. So I have some 6 hours. I have some 4-hour candles that burn. So just choose your candles that you want to, that you can, affordably burn every day like that if you're going to do this. And then keeping her with you, keep the flame of Brigitte's inspiration flowing. Light candles anytime you light a candle. So that's when we can call her in. You want to get in touch. This invites her to not just visit, but to stay with you, which is why I literally have had 7-day candles going for 40 years. Get the cross of Brigitte in your home, a Celtic cross, anything that bears. See, and here's the thing about the cross. It's spirit and matter. Above and beyond all the religions, it's our spirit in human form that we honor when we put a cross, when we make any kind of cross. But the Celtic cross is more like a really nice knot.
I'm coming. I just wanted to show you. You keep talking.
No, I got you. You got a beautiful one. There you go.
I know. I wanted to share with people. This is where
beautiful.
Yeah. And you can make them,
Totally.
Like they're really
another fun sacred craft day. I think we should try that. Yes.
Yeah.
Listen to Celtic music. There's all kinds of ways. And her annual celebration is actually the Aquarius Gate of Power in the first week of February. So that's when it's like her high holy day. Yeah. And we really call her in there. But if you're just looking for inspiration, that is the way to go. She has an affirmation. Inspiration fills me. My creativity flows easily. So, yeah, it's kind of fun to call the goddesses in to help. So, anybody have anything on their deck today, or want me to just talk about the Taurus Scorpio energy of the week? Because on one hand, we are, like I said, at the Beltane is the celebration of life. And then we have the Scorpio full moon, which is anything that's done and dead in your life that we want to kind of prune away. But it's also a time where, a space where we're letting go of anything not serving us in that Scorpio house as well. So wherever your Scorpio house is will help you know where the release work is. So, for example, I'm a Sag rising. So anyone with a Sag rising will have Scorpio on the 12th house. So it's all the subconscious, unconscious things that get us in trouble. Yeah. Or when we're not using our power, we give our power away without thinking, like unconsciously. So it's a time to release any self-sabotage and things like that in that department. But anywhere you're feeling like you have given away your power or misused it, because that's a lot of what's coming up too. Most of us would live righteous and clean if we were trained that way from the beginning. But we don't have that training, and no shame, no blame at this point. Everybody works with what they've got. No perfect parents. We all had who we had, and we had to make the best of it. So it's just, what do you want to do now? You can't go back. We can't change anything that's already done. And the trauma that this is causing, we have to really honor, like I said, anyone that's doing basically okay, hold that ground, because there's so many people not doing okay that are going to need to find the light somehow, And
also don't allow yourself to get distracted by everything that's going on outside of yourselves. And for me anyway, right? And like focus on.
Back in the mirror. Everybody back to you.
That's
back
right.
to you.
Yeah.
Because you can't control any of that, y'all. You can't do anything about it. And so if you blow your circuits, you're useless anyway. So I have been on this for years because my Virgo wants to fix and save everybody. But it is to my detriment when I go against that. Or it's also ego. What cured me of it was when I heard that it's your ego when you think you can fix or help or save anybody. So that's why I'm always telling you, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm sharing what I've discovered and how I roll and what's worked for me, because honestly, this astrology stuff really did change my life and got me on a track that was way more positive than I was flowing down on my own. So it really helped me. So of course I'm going to talk about all the goodness, but it's not for everyone, and it's just like picking out the pieces that work for you and that are relevant for you. That's what I look forward to as well. And I like our little crew, and I love the little notes. So thank you, everyone that takes time to write me a note after these things and let me know, because people are pulling their cards after, or they have their own deck and they're looking up the same card we talked about. and getting new messages. And I really encourage you to do that. It's a lot of fun,
And
and it's very validating.
Yeah, the feedback is fantastic. I want to toss into, you know, I know some of us can feel alone during this time, right? And I mean, at any time. And calling in the goddesses and working with them will give you a
You
huge
don't feel alone
reminder.
anymore.
No.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, it's true. It is.
It's a beautiful reminder that we might physically be in this space and doing things, but we got lots of peeps out
Lots
there.
of help. You have a whole
right?
invisible team. That's what I always tell people. Your angels, your ancestors, and your animal guides.
Yeah.
And of course, the goddesses are part of all that. So I think it's just tuning in, remembering to create that conversation or that avenue of communion that you want to have. And you have to look for the answer. You have to receive. Yes. So there was something, Kathy Pagano just did a post. So check her out. Wisdom of astrology. And that's Kathy Pagano, and she's so good. But she just talked about that the Taurus Scorpio full moon. So it's going to be a big week where we're having a value shift anyway. Like, this is the month we would do it anyway, but with Venus going backwards next week, it's, you know, it's levels and levels and levels. At the same time, I want to remind you about the Venus cycle. Again, you can get your reading and custom guide for $150, and that gives you all your personal activations for 18 months. So it's a whole year and a half of Venus and you. And so that would totally give you time to track along. Now, if you're not a tracker and you don't want to take notes, that's cool too. There's just the Venus activations, which are like $10 a month, but that's still Venus stimulating your personal chart, very customized. It's not computer generated. It's something I created and that I've worked with for years and that I just really believe in. So if you need that kind of guidance and support, especially now when we're reworking our values in such a way that, like I said, whether it was the season or Venus retrograde, the world is reworking our values right now. So it's a huge reset.
A huge reset. And I was going to say, I know that when you, like, sometimes it may seem overwhelming for people to have like the 18 months ahead of time. And
I know, right?
You don't have to look at that, like get it. But
one month at a time.
I think I emailed you. Actually, I meant to call you because I emailed you twice, and I think we're not. No, it's not you.
It's going into spam or something.
Yes, but I was going to say, one of the things that I've done is I've jotted down important dates, but then I'll go back to it. Right. And it's like, oh yeah,
definitely.
I want to look at what's coming up so that I'm maybe not like feeling overwhelmed about 18 months ahead, but you still have the information there. And the cool part is
when you need it, it's there.
Access it. That's right. Yeah.
Totally.
Yes. And
that's what I told my people too. Like, it's 50-50. Some read it ahead of time, write the dates on their calendar, and then it provokes them to go back and look and read the actual description. But there's others that fly by the seat of their pants, and then they go and look at it after the fact, and it still gives you validation and direction because you're still making choices and decisions in the moment that when you see how she's stimulating you, you see how you responded. You can track yourself. Like, that's why I love it, because it helps you work on you, you know, and it doesn't involve anybody else.
That's the ultimate thing, right? Is like knowing ourselves and how we can operate in this world more fluid.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it works. It works because I don't have a lot of the hangups from the world because I know who I am and I know what my values are. And I also know what time it is. So the seasons matter. And so this is that midpoint where we have the processing times, which is Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, Sag. And this is a big deal because now we're going to have the eclipses moving from Cancer, Capricorn into Gemini, Sag. So we have, again, layers on layers on layers of writing a new story, conjuring a new story, like really conceiving a new story to tell going forward. And how beautiful can you make it? How lush and comfortable for you can you make it? How customized for you can you make it? Because the other thing is, if you're happy and well adjusted, you have more energy to help others. And so it's just whatever we can do to ground ourselves in this process and make those choices. Like, it is a simple time. Like, Taurus is very simple, always loves just the basics, and then it's like they splurge on the things that are important to them. So we all have those things that are, it's the one thing you spend money on or the one thing you won't like go cheap on, let's just say, because you know it'll break or it won't be worth it. It's not, you know, it's the one thing you want to invest Taurus likes to invest because it gets a return. So what are we investing in now that we're going to get a return in 6 months to a year on? And we've got to think a little bit ahead, because it's
Yeah.
gonna be kind of wild. Like, they opened the beaches here, and apparently people were lined up at 6:30 a.m. to get on the beach.
Yeah.
And I was like not expecting that, but I could just feel how everybody's tired of being locked up, and
Yes.
the beach is our happy place, so I'm glad it's open. But then there's cops every 10 feet because they're trying to keep people apart. So then the whole vibe of the beach isn't the beach, So it's a lot that we're going to have to contend with initially. Like for 2020, it's just going to be adapt and adjust and be as fluid as you can. But at the same time, cultivating what's important to you, like really. If
Like
it is food and shelter basics, then let's stay with food and shelter. How can we keep that as good and prosperous and sustainable as possible? And the food issues are going to be issues. I mean, that's the thing. The last 18 months stirred it up. And now this is going to be the results of what got stirred up in the last 18 months. And then for us personally, it's kind of home and work that got completely reorganized. And now out of that, we got the Gemini Sag helping us with the new story, the new ideas, the new concepts. But we're not really committing. I don't see any commitment, big, deep commitment for this 18-month cycle. I think this is exploratory mission only. Don't get attached. Don't get attached to anything, because it could be gone tomorrow. So be really fluid with everything, and like experimental. Don't, just be like, I'm going to try it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose, nothing to lose. And then always remember what I say too. If nothing's in place, then anything is possible. So let's claim the vision you want, especially if no one else is being brave and claiming a vision. Then it's even more important that we do that. And I'm on it. Like I said, I'm going to move this year somehow, and without forcing my will as well, because I've done that before, where I'm going to do this, and Spirit's like, okay, go for it. And let's see what happens. So it's like, you want to do it if there's ease and grace and open pathways,
And I trust that will happen for you. The same for me, right? That
agreed.
Happens, right? It's like this piece that
if it's meant to be, it'll work.
Right? Yes.
But I want to be ready. And so that's the thing about creating space, like Lakshmi. You got to create space for wealth, and you have to create space for whatever you're building. Like even the publishing the book and everything. Like I have my life is a series of piles.
Yeah.
But I work on legal pads, so I have a legal pad for everything. But at the same time, to that extent, I mean, I'm organized. Everything has a place,
That's right.
And I can get to it when I need to.
That's very similar to me. I was going to ask you if any of you have a question or want to look up one of the goddesses.
We got the cards, yay!
But I was going to say, is there a specific ritual that you would recommend for people to do during this full moon time, especially with the energies of Beltane and
the burning bowl comes to mind immediately. Yeah, we should repost that. The burning bowl is just writing everything you're ready to release out of your life and burning it and taking the ashes to living water or to a tree, or somehow giving it to life again so that it can be renewed. It doesn't get stuck anywhere. But rituals, again, with Scorpio, it's purification through fire or water. So anything that's like that, that's going to help you clean and clear and lighten up and open up to conceiving a whole different way of doing things, like conception is the void. Things happen in the darkness. And so in that regard, we are tapping in, like I said, to our values and priorities, what's really important. What are we building? What are you building over the next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and then jump 3, 6, 9, 12 months. And you can work with the cycles, with the signs and things as well. But for here, we're in the rhythm of the year. So let's say pre-equinox, which is Pisces time, right before Aries time, processing the culmination of an entire year before birthing in Aries. And then Aries comes along, and we had this awakening of a new life, like pop, here we go. It's a new day. Everybody adjust. And so we get to Taurus, and it's like, wait a minute. How can we channel that fire better? How can we be more creative about it? How can we create a foundation under it so that it's a hearth fire, like we talked about, something that feeds and warms and protects you rather than raging out of control? You know, and there's a lot to be said for moving through the month of Aries asking, you know, what about me? So if you didn't get enough inquiry about your individual self at this time, then Taurus is good backup. I mean, it really does help you get in line with whatever's most important to you and being super honest about that. You know, Scorpio full moon's raw truth. You know, you can lie to everyone else, but you can't lie to yourself. So really owning a few things, like I didn't realize how important certain things were to me until they're taken away or they're threatened, you know? So that's where we're adjusting our lives and claiming a new garden, claiming a new vision, claiming a new way of going about it. And to make it as beautiful and sustainable as possible. Like, what can you keep up with? So that's the other reason, cleaning and simplifying your life. You know, of course we do that 3-4 times a year if we're lucky. Then you still have this big life world shift going on that's going to push you in the new direction as it is. So like I said, if you at least have the intention of what you want. You might not want, like, I'm willing to work with other people in certain ways, but I don't want to limit that by saying I only want to do this job or this work or work with this one person. You know, I'm ready to be of service, but I also am ready to be valued for my service and what I bring to the table. So there has to be a balanced exchange. And so this is the month we look at what's our worth, everyone. You know, really, what is your worth and value in the world? And you can't judge it by the world. You have to go inside and say, I'm a valuable person because I carry myself this way. You know, this is what's important and valuable to me. And that's how you develop it over time. But if you go by the world standard or you're comparing yourself to other people, who's doing better, who's doing worse, either way, comparing is wrong. It's just not good for you. It's not about who's doing better or worse because they're not you. So you have to deal with you and work with your resources and your consciousness to bring in that new vision. And that's why I said, don't be a victim. Claim the new vision. Claim what you want and how you want to go forward. If food is really important, then set life up to make sure that you're always near some food, you know, and that you always have access, even if the big structures go, you know, and even if it doesn't support us the way it has historically, which is time to change anyway. So we should all be forward thinking. And that's why I said this 18 months of Gemini Sag eclipses is going to crack us all open in our consciousness to thinking in different ways and trying different ideas we would have never considered. And then in the next 18 months, when it gets to Taurus Scorpio eclipses, we'll start choosing what's going to stay and what's going to really go. So right now, I think, like I said, don't attach, just explore, try different things, see what fits, because you're changed through this too. We've all been affected in a certain way where there's like a little stamp. We all got our stamp. We all went to the same party and got the stamp on our hands.
That's right.
And so it's like, now where do we go from here? And again, if it's going to be all new anyway, then why not choose what you want? You know, why not choose what would be really good for you?
That's right.
And holding that vision.
Where your values come in and releasing into that burning wool the things that no longer, like, I'm going to go back to that.
Known or unknown. You don't even have to have a list, you know, known or unknown. If it's blocking your higher good or blocking your higher self or blocking you from hearing your intuition or any of that, out of here. Let it go and clear, and ask, you know, the gods and goddesses, your angels, ancestors, animal spirit guides to help you. And like I said, activate your invisible team, activate that communication so that they know you're even open to it. And once you invite, it totally, it helps us do everything.
Can you provide a link for to your offerings, Kelly?
KarmicTools.com is my website. KarmicTools.com, and under that you'll see subscriptions and live circles and readings. And then KellyMBeard.com is where my mentorship and the new circle I'm launching in June. So if you're on the E-list, you actually got a sneak peek, but I didn't see anyone click on it, so it's still hidden.
Oh, no. So sometimes I'll see depending on how much information I'm like.
I know, it's too much. That's okay. It's going to get out there soon enough. I almost didn't do it, and so I was just being brave.
Hey, I like brave. You know that.
Yeah.
What I was also going to mention is if any of you want to email Kelly, she's, as long as it doesn't go into the junk there, because there has been some issues.
I'm good at it, I swear.
You are very good at it, yeah. Too much
too
I know. But that's what I'm
It's
saying.
okay.
What you do is email and ask. Like what you can
Kelly,
give her a
yes.
vibe, yeah, of what it is you're looking for, and she
I
can
can
point you
direct
in
you.
that right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she is more than fair. That is for sure. But what I was going
And
to also say is like during this time period with all of this, it's a really cool way if you can't feel or don't know how to fill into your blocks or what's stopping you,
mm-hmm.
literally just say.
Mm.
And I'm going to go back to that book a little bit because I think what you said was, if memory serves me correctly, that there might be about 6 goddesses under, like, say, abundance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing about that is if you're unfamiliar with them, as you're looking at this book, one might pop out to you a little bit
Mm. Oh,
more.
I always
And
hold
so,
an open. I do.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and different traditions might pop in, right? So maybe someone
Right.
more familiar with the Celtic goddesses, but all of a sudden there's some
Totally.
Finnish ones, right? Right?
Right.
You know, or
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about
Okay, I'm gonna hold an open.
yeah.
Let's see. Who wants to be with us today? Mm, let's go early in the book. Who do we get? Be the ultimate self-love goddess with Venus. So see, Venus keeps showing up for me. I'm sorry. The $10 Venus thing, what? Yeah, that would be great. That's your activations. It's kind of like a personal horoscope, but it's Venus only. But Venus rules your finances and relationships, so it's everything that people care about. And so that is, like I said, having a personal guide of how Venus stimulates you throughout the year. And I send them 3 months at a time, so you get a quarterly, and it's so useful to just know how she's stimulating you. And then you start to learn her pattern, her rhythm, because she repeats it over and over.
Yeah.
So once you learn that if you have a couple of planets together, she's going to stimulate all 3 or 4 of those planets back to back, then you get a rhythm to that. You start to learn not only is she going to stimulate this when she does that, but she's going to stimulate all 3 things or more. Like I have 6 and 5 and
I was
lots
gonna
of
say,
planets in
I
one
think you
one sign.
strongly encourage Melissa to really connect with Venus because of how
Yeah,
if
her
memory,
Libra
like
stuff, I think.
I
Yeah,
think a lot, and I know that she's been focusing on that, and that's been very,
yeah.
very cool. But with the Venus cycle you have coming up, isn't there a monthly also?
Yeah, the monthly Venus circle is where we follow along the custom guide. Like you'll get your reading in your custom guide to get you set up, and
Yeah.
then it's 25 a month for the call, and we follow that guide throughout the year. And so we just do it together. Basically, everybody's on their own, and I've never had anyone want to do it alone though. Everybody wants
Yeah.
to be in the group and do it together. So we've had a lot of fun with this one. Again, it's going to be exploratory. We're doing storyteller is the overall theme. Is we're going to release the old story in the first 9 months and claim a new story on the next 9 months. And you can just drop in. You don't have to join regularly, but you can drop in if it's a month that's certain, a little intense, or you've got some big things coming up in financial decisions or relationship decisions, then that might be a month to check in. We do work with the chakras and the signs. And in this case, we're going to be working with archetypes and
Thank,
stories
thank you for
stories
yeah.
these various stories that we tell ourselves that may or may not be true or
Or that
helpful,
yeah. Told to.
so
Thank
we're
you
going to
for
work
saying
on
that we.
that.
Thank you for saying that we can drop in because I know that some people,
Totally.
with all the uncertainty,
Oh
right?
yeah,
That there's
totally.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
wonderful to know.
and money's not a big excuse for me, so you have to reach
Yeah,
out. Let's just say I have scholarship funds for people, but it's I have to make a living, of course, but it's at the same time we're going to be there. And I really want, if people are serious about their work, we make a way. We figure out a way to work it out.
I mean we all do.
And
Right?
yeah, but I
Or
will say that was why I put out the note in the e-list. So if you're not on my e-list, then you might want to get on there because there are lots of little perks and things that I'll do just for them that I won't do for the general public. And but I'm finding that when people talk to me about what they want or what they need in terms of monthly, that is the 2 circles I'll have going will be the Venus circle will be those of you who like the astrology and really want to learn your blueprint and want to feel, how you can work with the seasons and cycles that way. But the other circle that I'm launching in June is no astrology. So if people aren't really resonating with the astrology,
yeah.
then it's going to be more earth medicine. It's going to be the animals and archetypes and things over there. So I'm sort of guiding people once they talk to me and let me know what their needs are. I know where they belong. You know, and I literally just had another reading done this week where it was 20, I mean, literally 20 things that said Venus circle, Venus circle, Venus circle.
Yeah.
It was just too much. It was like her lessons on top of her everything. It was just, it was a lot. And so, but then there's another one that's like, I don't care about my chart. I just want to do my soul work. And the soul work is what we'll be doing in the Soul Sisters Circle that I'll be launching in June. So stay tuned and just let me know what your needs are, and I can direct you for sure.
When in June? Do you know when in June?
No.
Yet? Okay.
No, because I got to get Venus off the ground first. So
Yeah.
if that's done by June 1st, then I can go right into it. And I'm hoping for summer solstice because it's a seasonal summer solstice. Is a Soul Sister seasonal too.
And that's also monthly, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Monthly and seasonal. So you can drop in for ceremony on the seasonal times. That's when we really get the whole community together. And if I'm lucky, I'll be in person. You know, the whole idea is I've been online for 20 years, y'all. I don't do sock med, but I've been online. And I, you know, and I actually did have Facebook and Twitter and all that for 10 years, but it didn't do anything for me. So I got out of there. And, but I
envision it being in person. I know that, you know, things are going to be a little, what that looks
funky.
like for a little bit. Yeah.
Right. We don't know what that's
going to happen. It will happen.
It will. It will.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that we do our ceremonies in person. That would be fun to have the bonfire, story time, and things like that in person with each other wherever we can, you know, and I'm looking forward to that. There you go. I'm coming out west too. I swear. I told Shanta, I said, we might not be able to do our retreat like we had planned for fall equinox in Mount Shasta, but my husband and I might still go and just visit her. And that, in which case we'll be together for fall equinox, and we might do a live thing like this where we're trying a Zoom tomorrow. So there is a call tomorrow, you all, if you're interested. Shanta has just started Wisdom Wednesdays, but it also happened to coincide with her full moon call that we do every month together. So I'm going to talk about Beltane, and I'm going to talk about the full moon, and she's going to do a channeling and archangels and wisdom and something. It's all special and new. So I don't know what she's going to do, really.
And she's great. I love the calls. And if you text it to me, I'll forward it to people as well.
Okay.
And we'll share it on Instagram and Facebook.
This one, we're going to ask for a $22 donation.
Okay.
And the link's on her site. I'm not managing this one, but I will make sure that I post it somewhere. I made a graphic I can put on Instagram too.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Okay. And I will email you and text you.
They've been really great about sharing I know we're limited on time now. But sharing the recordings with it after. Kelly's so great about that. So I'm really grateful for that because I know at least our time stuff is like goofy, right? So,
we have so much fun here. It's all good.
Thank you all for
thank you.
Today.
Yes.
And Kelly, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the call tomorrow. And
yes, that'll be me and Shanta. And then the first Venus circle is scheduled for May 28th. So I'm trying to get people's readings and custom guide all done by then. But you can join pretty much for the first 3 months. It's like get in where you fit in, try to get started. Because she's going to be retrograde for a while. I mean, it's April to August alone is just the moment here. So thank you, ladies. Yeah. I'm so grateful for everyone that shows up here. And like I said, Kelly at karmictools.com if you want to reach out directly. Thank you.
And Kelbell, have an awesome full moon.
Much love.
And grab that burn bowl by everybody.
Okay, yes.
Right now.
Let's share some pictures. Yes, I'll send some Lakshmi. You send some burning bowl.
Yes. Oh, do you want to put up that book real quick at the end so they can see it? Just one more shot. Yeah. There you go.
A goddess is a girl's best friend. Lori Sue Brockaway.
I would love for people to.
It's such a good beginner. Yeah, to introduce you.
Please send some pictures in because that's like really good feedback and it encourages all of us and reminds us again
that you have support. You do.
Yeah, that you have support and that we're doing this together, you know?
We're in it together. That's for sure. No getting around that one. No. All right, love.
Bye, everyone. Have a great time.
All right.